Hello and welcome to Valley View News. I'm Alexa Kosten.
And I'm Spencer Ferreira.
Governor Gavin Newsom has signed a plastic bag ban for grocery stores. This bill was upheld by a 2016 ballot initiative, but grocery stores were still allowed to provide plastic bags as long as they were reusable or recyclable. This bill will allow customers to either bring their own reusable bags or be provided with a paper bag. The bill will go into effect January 1st, 2026.
In similar news, state officials are not done going after what they call the false promises of plastic recycling. Attorney General Rob Bonta's office is filing a lawsuit against ExxonMobil for allegedly exacerbating the global plastics pollution crisis. Bonta says plastics are causing irreversible damage and will be making ExxonMobil clean up its mess.
The war between Israel and Hezbollah is still ongoing. Israel's military says a wave of airstrikes hit 300 Hezbollah targets, leaving over 300 dead and 1,200 injured. That was in response to an attack by Hezbollah the previous day.
The LA County Fire Department is investigating a collision after two small planes collided mid-air in Lancaster. One pilot was killed and another reported no injuries. Authorities say the crash happened in a remote area and could have caused more damage if it had occurred in a more populated area.
Aside from wildfires, earthquakes seem to occur very frequently lately. Our reporter Tony Santos has more on how you can prepare for the big one.
Living in Los Angeles, California, I think some of the things that are at the forefront of everyone's minds is wildfires and floods, but at the apex of that has to be earthquakes. And it doesn't matter how tough you are, earthquakes are absolutely frightening. I think the thing that makes them scary is the fact that the second one hits, there's nothing you can do. Or can you? In fact, are you prepared for an earthquake?
I would say food, water, flashlight, first aid kit would be top essential things that you would need. Most people don't think about what's going to happen when the big one hits. So yeah, I wouldn't say the average person is prepared for an earthquake.
Now, something you could pick up at your local fire station is this brochure that I'm showing right here that'll go over how to stay safe during an earthquake, as well as top essentials that you need to survive an earthquake. We were also fortunate enough to speak with a citizen who dove into whether or not they're ready for the big one.
I don't think so. No. I think you can be prepared as you can be, maybe with some stuff at home, but I don't think anybody really prepares for an earthquake, especially a big earthquake. I mean, we do have some things at home. We have water, we have, some supplies. We don't really have food. And honestly, I think the biggest kind of thing for me with earthquakes is the fear of the earthquake itself. So there's no way to really prepare for that. We had an earthquake, a week ago, I think, and the first thing I thought of was, where's the dog? Let me grab him so we can run out.
From Fire Station 87 for Valley View News, I'm Tony Santos. Back to you in the studio.
Tony, thank you. The alleged would-be assassin of Donald Trump wrote a letter confirming that it was an assassination attempt and apologizing for his failure. He would go on to say a variety of other things as well. He is currently being held without bail pending trial.
In election news, Vice President Harris has a 5-point lead over former President Trump. The polls are showing Harris at 49% to Trump's 44%. Before Harris took over as the Democratic nominee, Trump had a 2-point lead over President Biden.
The CDC says that everyone 6 months and older are recommended to get the updated flu and COVID-19 vaccines. This comes after a new subvariant called XEC emerges. The new variant has mostly evolved throughout Western Europe, but has been reported in 25 U.S. states. As flu season approaches, you can expect this variant to spread like wildfire during the fall and winter season. There are no unique symptoms of this new variant, and it is recommended that you take the precautions.
A shooting has taken place at an entertainment district in Birmingham, Alabama, leaving 4 dead and 17 others injured. The shooters drove up to the area, started shooting, and drove away. Police believe one person was being targeted, with others being caught in the crossfire. $100,000 is being offered by authorities for information that helps identify the suspects.
FBI data shows violent crimes, including murder and rape, dropped across the U.S. from 2022 to 2023. Violent crime was down by 3%, and property crime took a similar drop of 2.4%. It was also reported that serious crimes, including murder and non-negligent manslaughter, went down 11.6%, with rape being decreased by 9.4%. Preliminary numbers also showed that 2024 crime numbers are also dropping for the early part of this year.
Cal State Northridge has some unfinished student housing construction projects. Our Charlie Gonzalez has more on the project plans.
Fencing, machinery, and construction, a familiar sight for students living in campus housing dating back to last year. 2 new dorm buildings are scheduled for completion in May of next year.
Anticipated date would be ideally May 2025. It'll be open fall 2025 for occupancy. So we're looking to do kind of a soft walk in May, see how the building looks, see if there's any issues, concerns, stuff like that.
One student says the noise could be a concern for residents.
Like, I go on the other side because the other side is a parking lot too. And like, you don't know if like, let's say things fall off or fall down. And like, especially like when it comes to like finals, I mean, hopefully it'll be done before that. But finals, you want to make sure you're concentrating, especially also midterms. You want to be able to have that time to concentrate. And if there's noise going around and the clickety-clack, it's really hard to actually do your work.
Although the additional bed spaces don't reduce the wait list down as much as housing would like, the new bed spaces will help shrink the number of students without a place to live after the semester has already begun.
Charlie, thank you. High-tech e-cigarettes are featuring built-in games and fun flavors. These smart vapes are made illegally and distributed to minors. The FDA banned flavored vape products but hasn't stopped them from entering the U.S. The president of the New York Association of Convenience Stores says the smart vapes will only exacerbate the problem as they are being targeted toward teens.
An LA County 7-Eleven store was raided and ransacked by 50 masked teens before they took off on speeding bicycles. Police got there after the teens had left. No one was arrested and no injuries have been reported.
More to come on Valley View News. You may now be able to download your driver's license to your phone, and we have a recap of everything you need to know about the Emmys.
What I thought was a complete life was nowhere near complete, but it is now.
Learn about adopting a teen at adoptuskids.org.
There was an old woman who lived in a shoe. She had so many children. She didn't know what to do.
Did you have a good day at school?
She gave them some broth without any bread.
There you go.
And kissed them all soundly.
Night-night. Good night.
And put them to bed. Hunger is a story we can end. End it at feedingamerica.org.
I'm an ex-drug dealer, and I'll be your sub today. Two milligrams of fentanyl can be lethal. A lethal dose is in here. Who gets it, I won't know.
It's cheap, it's potent, and it's profitable. The sad reality is, fentanyl is being mixed into everything now.
More kitchen now.
Hear that? That's the sound of your life. Perfectly imperfect. But every time you drive after drinking, the music gets drowned out. Your life sounds pretty great. Don't let a buzz ruin it. Buzzed driving is drunk driving. Don't drive buzzed.
Welcome back. Hispanic Heritage Month continues, and many Latin American countries are celebrating their independence. Eliza Portillo is in our Digital Media Center with details on how people and organizations are coming together to celebrate. Eliza?
Alexa and Spencer, the streets of LA were filled with vibrant colors and cheerful people earlier this month for this year's celebration of independence for Latin countries. The month of September is not only the start of Hispanic Heritage Month, but also the start of many celebrations for Central American countries. El Salvador, Guatemala, Honduras, Costa Rica, and Nicaragua are 5 countries that celebrate the anniversary of their independence from Spain. Many people, like Sandra Quilgas, take pride in being Central American.
Even though I live here, I'm an American citizen, I'm still part of Guatemala. Guatemala is part of me.
Since Los Angeles is the home of large Central American communities, celebrations revolve around the Central American Independence Festival and Parade that happens every year at MacArthur Park. The Central American Confederation, better known as COFECA, is an organization that was founded in 1983 in Los Angeles as a form of protest against U.S. intervention in Central America. President of COFECA, Benjamin Posada, has been involved with the organization for more than 40 years since immigrating from El Salvador.
It's very important because it's the only way that the people feel like if are in any of those 8 countries that we represent. Mostly with the food, with the celebrating independence. It's very important because you put a seed in each kid to feel very proud about the roots they have.
COFECA is led by 12 members representing 7 countries in Central America. Their goal is to preserve the rich culture and involve young people in the celebration of history.
I'm very interested to start to call the universities to send students to get mostly interest in culture, to write it down about the culture of the Central America people.
And if you missed this year's festival and parade, check it out next year for a chance to learn about and celebrate different cultures. In the Digital News Media Center, I'm Eliza Portillo. Alexa and Spencer, I'll send it back to you.
Eliza, thank you. The first images of the Titan submersible have been released after tragically imploding last year. The U.S. Coast Guard panel is investigating what led up to the implosion and how it happened. During a testimony, the co-founder of OceanGate says the company never intended on creating their own vessels.
iPhone users can now download their driver's license on Apple Wallet. This comes after digital versions of driver's licenses became available to download on Google Wallet. The mobile driver's license can also be used at TSA checkpoints at major airports. The DMV representatives say that they will continue to collaborate with other businesses and associations to increase acceptance of the mobile license.
The Department of State has announced that passport holders can now renew their passports online. This faster process is available for citizens who want to renew their travel documents up to 1 year before it expires or within 5 years after expiration. Online renewal will not be available for first-time applicants. Passport renewal charges will remain at $130 regardless of renewal method.
The FDA has approved a new way to get your flu shots. The new flu shots can now be administered through a nasal spray vaccine. The treatment will require a prescription and a questionnaire to be filled out on the website, and once it's approved, it will be shipped directly to the customer's door.
Cable or streaming? That's a question that is being talked about after the recent dispute between DirecTV and Disney. DirecTV lost the rights to all of Disney's channels on September 1st, right before the highly anticipated USC versus LSU college football matchup. Both sides came to an agreement on September 14th, ending the 2-week holdout, but that raises the question. What are the benefits of being a cable customer if you have to worry about potentially losing out on channels? Our own Spencer Ferreira spoke with a DirecTV customer to share her experience.
The recent dispute between Disney and DirecTV affected over 11 million customers. Customers couldn't access channels such as ABC, ESPN, and Disney, and I think it's safe to say they were not happy about it.
It was awful because there was no warning. The warning was when you turned it to whatever Disney channel. In my case, channel 7, you saw the information there and not really a whole lot of information, just they were under dispute with the contract.
I also had the chance to speak with someone who only uses streaming services. She was able to shed some light on her experiences when it comes to watching her favorite shows.
That I can watch all the movies that come out in the theaters and also like my favorite TV shows at home in my couch. And I pay a simple fee and it's just right there. It's just so easy.
South Korea is threatening a military response against North Korea for a trash balloon incident. North Korea launched a batch of balloons carrying waste over the border. This angered Seoul officials, leading them to express their concerns if something was to happen regarding the safety of their citizens.
The U.S. is sending more troops into the Middle East as there has been a rise in violence between Israel and Hezbollah. Lebanon is now at risk for a greater regional war, which led to this decision. The U.S. has about 40,000 troops in the region, but it is not confirmed exactly how many more they will be sending.
In entertainment news, the 76th Emmy Awards had history-making wins from fan-favorite shows. I had a chance to visit, and I have more on the exciting night. Television's brightest stars shined at the 76th Emmy Awards. The award show was hosted by father-son duo and Schitt's Creek stars Eugene and Dan Levy. Viewership skyrocketed by 54% after a record-low ceremony back in January, along with some history-making wins. Hulu's The Bear came into the evening with a whopping 23 nominations, a record for a comedy series in a single year. The Bear finished the night with 11 wins, with the first-time supporting actress winner Eliza Gonzalez.
The Latinas who are looking at me, keep believing and vote. Vote for your rights.
More first-time wins came for Netflix's Baby Reindeer, which picked up 11 nominations and took home 6 wins for its debut season.
If Baby Reindeer has proved anything, it's that there's no set formula to this, that you don't need big stars, proven IP, long-running series, catch-all storytelling to have a hit.
More first-season success continues with FX's Shogun, which took home 18 Emmys from its 25 nominations.
It was an East meets West dream project with respect. And Shogun taught me that when people work together, we can make miracle.
Shogun made history as the first Best Drama Emmy winner in Japanese. Alexa Kosten, Valley View News.
Usher will continue to perform at the Intuit Dome this week. With one show left, the 45-year-old proves to continue to hit new career highs and more than 30 years after his debut. The singer brought out LL Cool J and Boyz II Men at his last shows.
A California firefighter was arrested on suspicion of starting 5 wildfires within the last 6 weeks. The firefighter is suspected of starting fires on purpose while off duty in Sonoma County. He is now facing 5 counts of arson to forest land and is now being held on a $2 million bail.
Wildfires are still burning across Southern California. Let's go to our weather anchor, Jess Brumana, for an update on the 3 big blazes.
Thank you, Spencer. California is continuing to burn, but there's been progress in containing the 3 major fires. The Bridge Fire in San Gabriel Mountains is at 71% containment and so far has burned around 55,000 acres. Fire crews are working on cutting down dead and weak trees to limit the fire's power source. The Line Fire in San Bernardino County is at 67% containment and has burned just over 39,000 acres. So far, only 5 structures have been affected. The Airport Fire is 81% contained at just over 23,000 acres burned. Fire officials predict it'll be fully contained by this week. Southern California Edison is currently in the process of replacing downed power lines via helicopter. On the Gulf Coast, people are preparing for potential Tropical Cyclone 9, which, as of Monday, is expected to hit land within the next few days. The storm is developing in the Caribbean Sea and will begin to head north towards Florida around Wednesday. As it heads up, the National Hurricane Center anticipates that it will increase in intensity. By the time it hits land, winds may reach up to 100 miles per hour. Florida will take the bulk of the storm, but PTC 9 will be felt as far up as South Carolina. Now, let's take a look at this week's forecast. It's almost officially fall, and it finally feels like this. In the San Fernando Valley, it's going to be in the mid to low 80s for most of the week. On Monday, though, you'll see a little spike in the heat, but it shouldn't break 90. Lows will stay pretty consistent around that 60-degree mark. Heading over to the beaches, it's going to be much cooler. Temperatures are going to stay in the low 70s and shouldn't go below 60s. You're going to feel that 80% humidity, but don't worry about rain. It'll be overcast pretty much the whole week. Looking inland, it's going to be very foggy this weekend. You're going to see a similar overcast at the beaches, but the temperature is going to be much warmer. You can expect highs to stay around this 80-degree mark and lows around 60. This Sunday in Inglewood, temperatures will cap out at 71 degrees around 2 p.m. Cloudy and cool for the Chargers game a home game at SoFi Stadium. We'll be right back with Dodgers, Rams, and college sports here on Valley View News.
Eyes forward. Don't drive distracted.
I don't remember how it started. Our back and forth. Victory. Fumble. Repeat. It always came back.
Dad!
Okay, here we go, throw it!
Yeah.
You probably don't remember what you told me,
That was perfect.
but I heard every word.
Nice.
Julie was always a voracious reader. She carried 2 novels on an airplane because she'd read one on a 3-4 hour ride. And at some point, I began to notice that she would read a page and couldn't remember what she had just read, and she'd have to go back and read it again.
I don't remember much these days after I read, but less does for me, and I love it.
Vengo de Honduras. Ya tenía 19 años y no tuve el tiempo de entrar a high school por mi edad. De repente miré un flyer donde decía, termine su high school, y en letras grandes español. Dije yo, ¿será posible?
Yo estoy muy orgullosa porque sí luchó por sacar su diploma.
Este proceso yo creo que no lo hubiese terminado sin la ayuda de mi mamá y de mi hermana. La educación es muy importante y estoy haciendo un futuro mejor para mi hijo.
Encuentra clases gratis para adultos cerca de ti en completatudiploma.org.
Welcome back to Valley View News. There's a lot going on in the world of sports. Alexa, it seems like you're wearing some Dodger blue.
Yes, Dodger blue for the game tomorrow.
Dodgers have seen a lot of success recently. That and much more with our sports anchor, Charlie Gonzalez.
Thank you, Spencer. CSUN's women's soccer team fell 2-0 to the University of San Diego Toreros despite the start and 9 saves by CSUN's goalkeeper, Riley Liebsack. The game remained scoreless until the final 10 minutes. Other college teams in Los Angeles weren't so lucky either. On Saturday, both UCLA and USC endured tough road losses. First, let's go out to Ann Arbor, Michigan, where the Trojans had their Big Ten debut against the reigning national champions. Both teams punted on their first 2 drives, but Blue would draw first blood with just over 3 minutes left in the first quarter on this touchdown run by Donovan Edwards. A hole opens up in the left A-gap and Edwards runs in untouched. With 7 minutes left in the game, Miller Moss connects with Woody Marks for a 24-yard touchdown pass to take their first lead of the afternoon. But this is the play where USC fans threw their phones at their TVs, including some I know. DeCarlos Nicholson is trying to wrap up Kalel Mullings with help from Rayshon Davis, but he breaks free for a 64-yard gain down to the 15-yard line of USC. From there, Michigan runs out the clock and scores a go-ahead touchdown, which is about 38 seconds remaining. Final score, 27-24 Michigan. USC's crosstown rival Bruins had a game against the LSU Tigers in their first ever trip to Louisiana. That's right, no Sugar Bowl appearances in the game's 90-year history. Despite a turnover in the first half, the Bruins tied the game 17 apiece going into halftime. This pass by Ethan Garbers down the sideline bobbled and caught by Quasi Gilmer set up a 1st and goal at the 3-yard line. 7 plays and a pair of penalties later, Ethan Garbers finds Logan Loya for a touchdown with 2 seconds left on the clock. Things are looking up going into halftime for the Bruins. Those will be the last points of the day that they score. Here's the dagger as LSU goes up by 2 scores in the 4th quarter on a 35-yard touchdown reception by Caden Durham. The final score, 34-17 LSU. Coming back to LA, the Dodgers won the series finale against Colorado in exciting fashion. After falling behind 3-0 early and trailing 5-1 after a 6-inning RBI double by Hunter Goodman, which brought home Jake Cave, a 3-run 7th inning put the Dodgers within 1 run. First, Kike Hernandez hit a 2-run homer to cut LA's deficit in half. Shohei Ohtani steals second to put himself in scoring position with Mookie Betts at the plate. During the very next at-bat, Freddie Freeman hits an RBI single into right center field to bring home Shohei Ohtani. But that was just the appetizer. The icing on the cake was a pair of back-to-back solo home runs in the 9th by the men in the top of the order, Shohei Ohtani and Mookie Betts, to give the Dodgers the 93rd win of the season. Final score, Dodgers 6, Rockies 5. The 49ers and Rams faced off at SoFi Stadium in a game dominated by the opposing fans. Early on, the game was going in favor of San Francisco as they led 14-0 after the first quarter. Brock Purdy had 2 touchdown passes to Juwan Jennings. But as the game wound down, 49ers kicker Jake Moody missed a field goal that would have made it a 2-score game. On the ensuing drive, Kyron Williams scored his 2nd touchdown of the afternoon. Extra point that followed tied the game. The Rams defense holds, getting their offense the ball, and rookie kicker out of Stanford Joshua Cardi in position to kick the game-winning field goal. The last offensive snap of the 49ers was unsuccessful. The Rams defeated the 49ers at home in the regular season for the first time since 2018. Spencer, you went with my family. You took my ticket. How was it there?
I mean, it was an exciting game. I mean, it was disappointing. I was disappointed that the 49ers lost. But overall, it was an exciting game to go to. I always love watching Brock Purdy play. Alexa, you have an exciting story for us, don't you?
A family cat vanished on a trip to Yellowstone National Park when he ran off into a forest back in June. The family searched for him for days and ultimately decided to go home without their beloved cat. A woman found the cat more than 800 miles away from the national park, and the woman checked that the cat's microchip was working and was able to get him back to his family.
And that's all for us at Valley View News. I'm Spencer Ferreira.
And I'm Alexa Kosten. For stories any time of day, see our YouTube channel at Valley View News and our Instagram page at Valley View News CSUN.